Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite Talk podcast show. Mark and Ken with you once again.
Correct.
Episode 141 of the Shite Talk podcast show.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
Yeah, we're slowly climbing the numbers in our podcasts. Yeah, a slight update. I don't know if it's releasing as quickly as all the other podcasts, but iTunes is back up and running for people who might have had to change their podcast preference in order to listen to their favorite podcast. It's back up. I checked there last night, and 141 podcast is currently on iTunes.
What's the story with iTunes? Like, why every now and then they fucking fuck off?
So the way it works is we have a media host that sends 90% of our podcasts gets published through that media host. So SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, all those ones go through Libsyn, and we get a thing called our classic feed off Libsyn, and then we manually uploaded that to our website, and then iTunes takes it from our website basically, and so from the process of the website to go into iTunes, there seems to be a problem. Now I've checked it from the website side, so there's like websites called podcast verifications where you take your feed that you get that your website produces for your podcast, and you check to see if there's any problem. And it runs it specifically for iTunes, for the criteria that iTunes look for in order to get syndicated. And I've checked it on those websites, and they said it's perfectly fine. It's like 100%. Everything comes back green. So it isn't from the website that's the problem is. It's for some reason to do with iTunes. Now, it can usually take up to a day for your podcast to be published because there's like so many podcasts, and sometimes every podcast has to be listened to. I don't think they do that anymore. I think they just publish it and wait for the reports to come back in if something's been flagged. So for whatever reason, our podcast is taking up to a week to publish, and I think I've gone to them before. Usually when I berate them on Twitter, it magically fixes itself. So if it happens again, I'll just berate them on Twitter again and see if that's what happened last two times. I've just posted about it on Twitter and tagged Apple Podcasts in it, and it magically worked. So
that's the magic formula.
Yeah, what I might try to do is get it that it goes directly off the Libsyn if I can, and hopefully that works then. But yeah, it's just very annoying.
Yeah.
There probably is. Yeah, there's definitely a way of. I probably could have. When I set it up, I didn't know you could. I thought you had to have a website. Well, everything that I checked out said you had to have a website to get on iTunes. So I was like, all right, I'll create a website, and then so I just didn't. I've never changed it.
Yeah.
That's why the logo is different on iTunes than it is everywhere else. It's just I haven't got around to uploading it. uploading it to the website. But yeah, anyway, that's talking the fourth wall. We're breaking into the fourth wall territory here. So I think it's
just weird, because every now and then iTunes just stops working.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like we talk about anything outrageously bad or controversial. Or berate celebrities openly. I did once called Matt Damon a transvestite. I apologize for that. All right, that was wrong. I've learned. He's allegedly a transvestite.
Yeah, we just figured out a way around that.
Apparently, iTunes doesn't take that allegedly too well.
Did he actually get onto you over it?
No, they didn't.
No.
They have lot more bigger fish to fry than me. And I think it's like if you're saying stuff like jokingly, like if it's clearly a joke, you can actually you won't be getting caught for like uh, whatever that legal term is. What's that? For your
Like
defamation.
slander or
Yeah.
defamation. Yeah.
If something's like clearly taken as a joking term, it's very hard to
Allegedly.
pass. Yes, allegedly. We have to get onto our little lawyer guy.
Dara.
Yeah, we have to get into Dara over that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Also, a person who might need a lawyer guy is Elon Musk. And well, he needs it for maybe two reasons. Because one, he's going to actually he's opening back up Tesla, even though where he is, it's not deemed as an essential business to reopen. And so you'll probably need a lawyer guy for that. But the reason why we're talking about it is because of his kid's name.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
you know how great I am with people's names in general who are from different countries. Just amazing.
Not necessarily just different countries, just people's names in general.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a person. Well, his name. I'm gonna spell it out for you, and it's X, and then there's this weird kind of letter combination that's an capital A and a capital E slammed together. So I don't even know what that is, and then it's A12 Musk is what his kid's name is going to be.
Yeah.
So he was recently enough on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he kind of explained how you're meant to pronounce it and the symbols behind it. Apparently, his girlfriend's really into symbols, and she picked out every kind of all the meanings of this word. I don't actually know the meanings, but it's X Ash A12 is
I know the A12 part is named after a plane.
Yeah, he called it the coolest plane ever made.
Yeah, the rest of it I don't know.
Yeah, the other symbols that his girlfriend picked out, I'm not too sure, but it's pronounced X-Ash. So that weird AE combination is pronounced Ash and then 12. So in the state of California where Musk lives, you're only allowed 26 of the English letters of the alphabet in a person's name, which is kind of a weird rule. You're also limited to special characters, including hypophones and periods, as well as numbers and symbols, like that AE thing.
Yeah.
So he mightn't be able to actually call his kid the name that he picked out for it. Like, there's good reasons why you can't call your kid anything, or like, there's definitely going to be like a kid walking around called Cunt Face. That's going to happen. Like, there's no stopping it. If there wasn't any laws, there'd be just like, kid, hey, Cunt Face. Like, oh, damn it.
But like, there's just like, I don't know, like.
Do you think there shouldn't be any laws around what you should name your kids?
Yeah, well, you should be allowed to call your kid whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I think I don't know. In certain countries, it's illegal to call your kid Jesus.
I know in there was a couple that brought the government to court in, I don't know if it was Sweden or Denmark, because they wanted to call their kid Metallica. but they have a law that you can't call a kid anything like that's not a name.
Yeah,
like,
so
an already like Christian name, you can't call your kid anything.
Yeah, I think in most countries there's certain laws over names. I wonder if like you used. So like if you're from a different country, I wonder if in California can you name your kid like a traditional Swedish name? Or...
Like I don't think like, okay, if the kid's name is offensive, like you said, cunt face, like maybe don't let people call their kid cunt face,
or maybe not.
But like don't, yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you want to call your kid, I don't know, fucking Dodge Charger because you love a Dodge Charger car. You fire away.
Yeah,
Do
like
whatever you
I
want.
think Dodge should be allowed.
Yeah, like who cares if you want to call your kid, or even if you want to call your kid Seven, who cares?
I don't think you wouldn't be able to call them Dodge Charger unless like their middle name is Charger, because like obviously like your kid's going to have your second name. Be weird
Oh yeah,
unless you change your name, you change your family name to Charger.
yeah. You could do that.
Yeah. So you'd be like James Charger.
That's a pretty cool fucking name.
Yeah, like in terms of like seven, I wouldn't. I think seven's not too bad, or even two or whatever isn't too bad of a name.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I kind of think like people should be entitled to name their kids what they want, but like there's definitely repercussions of naming your kid a ridiculous name. Like they have, it's okay for you who like is trying to be different or give them a unique name because you're just that way inclined. But that kid then has to live with that name for the rest of their life.
yeah. Well, unless they want to change it.
Like yeah, but they can't change it until they're like legally 18. So like
Yeah, well, you can get your parents to change it if it causes you that much of a fucking problem. I'm sure your parents will change your name for you.
yeah, like I wonder if like I wonder if in that case would someone just name their kid as yet untitled.
That'd be deadly.
Like
Something though that I don't understand with kids' names. Like, do you ever see or do you ever know somebody who, like, obviously pregnancy lasts 9 months,
yeah,
and then like somebody will have a baby, and for months, like, pretty much, well, maybe not months, like for weeks, like maybe until the kid is christened or whatever, they'll be like, oh, I still don't know what we're going to call it.
yeah, like they have. I guess some people don't actually know their sex of their baby until they're coming out.
Yeah, but like, surely you
And
still go, oh, well, here's the names for if it's a boy, here's the names for if it's a girl.
and some people then don't know their sex of their baby once it's born or can choose for itself. So people have varying different levels of intelligence. And yeah, but like you think after 9 months or after once you've decided that you're going to have a kid or you find out you're pregnant, you might start and you want to keep it. You might start thinking about kids' names.
Yeah.
Um, for like what you'd want to call or not want to call your kids. So yeah, to go like until it's christened without a name, I guess like it doesn't really need a name, for a while, like because it can't talk. You're not like I know, it only learns its name as you talk to it, but
Yeah,
like
but like, you should, surely people start thinking about it as soon as they find out that they're pregnant.
yeah, but I guess like people put off things like for ages, like
Like, I don't know. And then sure, women like these, like these things, think about these things more than men. Like, surely they have names that they like picked out since they're like 17 or something.
well, I think everybody would have I would imagine everybody would have had names like that they would have called their kids if they had a kid, even if they didn't really want kids. They'd have like a name that they might pick, or they'd have at least an idea of a name, like
Like, like that's what I don't know. When people don't know what their kid is called, like,
or like they
weeks
lost the
after it's
bet with
born or whatever.
friends, so they have to name it after them. Or people have surely somewhere in your life you've come across a name where you're like, oh, if I had a kid, I'd call him like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you call your kid if you're ever they decide to have kids?
I don't know.
So what you're saying is you can't talk because you would know what you were going to
Yeah,
call your kid.
yeah, but like, if like, I would think about it before the kid was born and have a name by the time the kid was born.
Yeah, you spend a lot more time than you are right now.
Like, my mom and dad, they didn't know when I was born. Like, they didn't know whether I was going to be a boy or a girl,
Yeah,
and
they
like
wanted a
they had
surprise.
alternative names.
Yeah, Ken if it's a boy, Barbie if it's a girl.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Like, it was the same when my sister was born. Like, they didn't know whether she was going to be a boy or a girl, so they had alternative names picked out.
Yeah, I don't actually know what the idea of how I got the name that I got. Never had that conversation.
Why not, Mark?
I don't know. Maybe it was the doctor's
Jesus.
name.
Maybe.
Some people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that's what Paris Johnson named his kid after the doctor that saved his life, or a combination or something like that.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Like there is certain names that like you said, like curse words or like band names. You probably don't want your kid to have. There's probably good reasons why you shouldn't have it, but like I don't know. I kind of flip flop between if I think a kid should be called X-A12. Like it does seem like something you're naming one of your cards off from Tesla, not a kid. Like they should have different names. They should have a proper name. Like
Oh yeah, like that's definitely a ridiculous name.
yeah,
But
like
like,
it was called A12s. Like
yeah, like that's inevitably what's going to happen. Like it's going to be, or you said like what the AE thing is pronounced Ash. It's probably going to just be called Ash.
or X-Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kid's getting bullied
The kid's probably not going to get bullied because it'd be homeschooled.
by his dad or by an AI robot. Actually, he's going to
Yeah,
have one of those chips inserted into his brain. He's just going to upload information.
like the kid will either be homeschooled or it'll be like some sort of a private school where Elon Musk owns the school.
No,
So
he'll
the kid
have
won't
one
be
of those
bullied.
chips. He'll have one of those chips planted into the head and just upload information. He's like, you know karate. Like, yeah. He'll be like the living in at the actual cyborg. But the only thing is, he didn't have to go into like a horrible car accident in order to become cyborg. Is that just like?
Maybe it is a cyborg.
That's what I mean. Like he's inventing all this technology for like to improve your brain or combine like your phone with your brain. So, so why wouldn't he start with his kid and create like
Yeah,
the first artificial cyborg?
that's where the A12 came from. The kid is part airplane.
He can fly.
Yeah.
He actually he only has to press his like his wrist and the jetpack comes out of his back. Built in like fins as well, so he can
Yeah,
glide
just
through
in
water
case.
better.
That's for if he has to crash land in war.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been kind of a weird week because, as I said, Elon Musk wanted to reopen his business, and there's a business around the world wanted to reopen after the lockdown. People are getting a bit fed up. They've probably rent that they still have to pay, or percentage rent that they have to pay. And one kind of disgruntled gym owner, he has a few gyms around Florida, decided to take matters into his own hands and protest about his gym being forced to be closed. So they're protesting over the government stopping them get their gains. And they did this by going to a courthouse and performing exercises that they'd normally do in the gym out on the street of the courthouse.
Right.
Except the only thing is, it kind of backfired on them because as like this got national attention in America. It was covered by a few news organizations and obviously Twitter. People were tweeting about, and what the vast majority of people were saying or pointing out was that they kind of just proved that gyms aren't an essential business and you can exercise anywhere you want, since they are in fact exercising on the street. So if you can exercise on the street, you can probably exercise in your own home. So
that kind of backfired.
yeah, so it kind of backfired. The gym owner was asked by a news reporter if he regretted actually, and he said, yeah, the message wasn't really got across, and he kind of regrets doing the protest now after all, because he got less sympathy now. And the reason why he was doing it was because of small businesses and not because people can't exercise, even though the sign said government stopping him get his gains.
Getting his gains. Sounds like that guy. What's your man's name? He does those videos.
Oh, he's hilarious. I can't think of it. Yeah. He made one too. It's like, someone stop me getting my gains. I'm going to stop them from breeding or something like that. It was hilarious.
It wasn't him by any chance, was it?
No, it wasn't him. I don't think he owns a gym. I actually think he might own a gym, actually. Not too sure, but like that's not clearly, he's clearly a character when he does those videos, but he's fucking hilarious. So
Yeah.
he's very an exaggerated part of himself, but like it's quite funny. Yeah, so like at least he wasn't what. So the other kind of protesters. So obviously, like that's pretty bad in Florida. When you're trying to protest your gym being closed by exercising outside, and people are like, "Well, you're currently exercising right now. You're currently trying to get your gains right now."
You're proving you're non-essential.
Yeah, exactly. I think North California had protesters. Well, they actually, a video went viral after the protesters decided to get like a light snack while in between their protesting, and went into a Subway. And there's like a photographer following them around documenting their protest. Now the reason why he was doing this was because these guys were very, very heavily armed. One of the protesters was ordering a sub with a rocket launcher on his back. He also had 2 pistols on his side, and apparently also had an AK-47.
Was he in there to like get a sandwich or to rob the place?
Well, yeah, I watched a little bit of the video, and they were asking the people in the Subway, did they mind them being in here, or that they didn't want to intimidate them. Now, the fact that one of them had like a heavily armed machine gun and one was using a weapon that's usually used to take down tanks, I'm not going to try to kick them out of my place. If they're not just pointing a gun at me, I'm just going to get them what they want, and hopefully if they pay. If they don't, fine. I don't want to die. You can walk out that Subway with that sub. My life is worth more than what, $12.99. So so yeah, they were just getting a light refreshments while in between their protests. They even have a protest that even has a name, and they call themselves the Blue Igloos.
Blue Igloos?
Yeah, and in North California, it's like one of the hottest places in the world. So I don't know where they even get the name from. And they were actually even saying that they weren't actually even protesting. They're basically said they went for a much needed exercise instead of the street of California, in opposition to the North Carolinian stay-at-home order. So there obviously was a guy with the rocket launcher, AK-47, but there also was guys with other machine guns like AR-15s, and one that looks like he planted it on a mount and has that chain, you know, the one that you might see Ernie Schwarzenegger in his movies, and he'd be just holding it, firing it. Yeah, one of those. But one of the things that kind of struck me from it was that all it really, really pointed out to me was the much needed revamping of US gun laws. Like when there's a guy who can order a rocket launcher, like you're not protecting your, like one of the things that's like, oh, people should have the right to protect their own homes. You don't need a rocket launcher to protect your own home. If you fire a rocket launcher in your house, you're probably going to destroy your house.
Oh, 100%.
You are probably the biggest danger to your house having that rocket launcher. So I don't see why a private citizen can get a rocket launcher. I don't think they can have tanks.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, but like in Britain and I think in Ireland, you can legally buy a tank.
Can you?
Yeah, you can buy a tank. They'll decommission it for you, so you won't be able to slap.
Oh, then it's not really a tank then.
It's still you can drive over a car. Still, it'll do 90% of the things most tanks do, but you just won't be able to fire a rocket down the street of O'Connell Street. But yeah, there's a store in the UK where you can actually buy ex-military equipment from, you can buy tanks and all.
Jesus.
Yeah, I remember.
That's a bit.
Yeah, I remember when we were in school. One of my friends was telling me if he ever came into a lot of money, he'd buy himself a tank.
That's a bit weird,
So the group said they were peaceful enough, and saying that they were just basically going for a walk, and they didn't want to fight. In fact, they wanted the complete opposite of that, and they wanted to be able to walk around in America with their freedom.
And their tanks and stuff.
Well, they can't have a tank, but they can have a rocket launcher, and they can have like they just need to combine like European laws around tanks and US laws around like heavily armed weapons, and then they can have a tank. They need to find a middle ground where they can actually have a tank and a rocket launcher into one place.
Why do you need a rocket launcher if you can't have a tank?
I don't actually know. But like if you have a tank, then you can probably shoot out from the tank and not be shot at, or be very hard to shoot at.
Yeah.
Probably a good reason.
Probably is good, I don't know.
Yeah. And they also said, so they're talking about, like, in it, they're talking about their freedom, and this all these protesters all over, it's like, they're all obsessed with their freedom, and, but he also then stated at the end that a well-armed society is a polite society, which kind of
polite society.
Yeah, which kind of flies in the face of freedom, because if you think about it, the only reason that society might be mannerly is because they're afraid of getting shot.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not a lot of freedom there. It's like, okay, it mightn't be the worst thing in the world not to have the freedom to say you're a cunt to someone or go fuck yourself, but you can't be saying you want freedom and saying that you want a well-armed, polite society that are too afraid to speak unmannerly in case of the fear of getting shot.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. American gun laws are just weird.
Yeah, like I don't think we really agree, namely because like our gun laws are so backwards here, or so strict here.
So backwards.
Yeah, exactly. No school shootings allowed. No nothing like nothing interesting happens.
Yeah, you're only allowed a gun if you've got a license or.
Actually, no,
you know.
That's not actually true. Irish gun law, right? You have to have a gun before you get a license.
Yeah, but
so what you do is you buy your because I know a person who has guns, and what you do is you buy your gun, then request a license for the said gun that you just bought, and then the guards do like a background check on you to make sure you can have a gun. And then you have to write out, like, you have to fill out this form, like, explaining why you want a gun, what's the purposes of this gun. I think you might have to be in, like, if it's for hunting, you might have to be in a gun club.
No.
No?
No.
Actually, yeah, I know people who actually hunt who aren't in gun clubs. So I think you have to, and then if you want to get a different gun, let's say you want to up your guns, then you have to do the same. You have to like write to the guard saying that like you need this gun for this reason and this is what you're using it for. So
that's really weird.
Yeah.
Then they must have changed it because my dad has guns like, and when my granddad died, like my ma's dad, when he died, he wanted to leave the gun to my uncle, but he didn't have a license or anything, and obviously he was only a kid. Like, he was very small, like. But my dad, like, they transferred the gun to my dad until he was old enough to get it. But then when he turned 18, the guard was like, no, like, you can't just transfer it to him. He has to, like, be approved for a license before you can transfer it.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, maybe you do have to get. It would make a lot more sense that you'd have to get a license before you got a gun. But I'm nearly certain that my uncle who had a gun said that he had to buy the gun and then get his license. So I thought it was very, very backward.
Was he in a gun club?
No.
I know a guy that's how he got guns. Like, he joined a gun club first.
Oh right, maybe he joined a gun club. But yeah, it's very weird. You can't have a handgun because of organized crime laws. So
I know a guy with two.
Do you? He must have had it before they changed the law. But they changed the law that you weren't allowed to have a handgun because usually hunters would use it to finish off if they were hunting an animal that wasn't dead. They'd shoot it just to kill it, and because of a handgun, like organized crime. They banned handguns. Perfect.
Hey, if you join a gun club, you can get a handgun.
All right, but anyway, I don't agree. Like a society is made better just because everyone's polite because of the fear of being shot.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. Shut up,
Yeah,
the fucking it. The Wild West.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, yeah, it's a better society that has better well armed. That unfortunately more people die of deaths due to like being shot by their neighbor that have a disagreement.
Yeah, but you're not going to shoot your neighbor because somebody might shoot you.
Well, you have a rocket launcher, you're gonna win that battle. He had a gun, so he got a rocket launcher. He got a
Makes
rocket launcher.
perfect sense.
He got a tank. Need to find somewhere I can get a drone.
What kind of drone?
One that drops bombs on your neighbors.
Try to car it.
Yeah, but like you just escalate the violence then. But anyway, that's what's happening in America. You're kind of getting that all over the world. It isn't just America. Like you have similar protesters here, and you have a kind of weird kind of arguments. There's kind of a weird conspiracy going around with people that they're blaming the government and or the WHO of like trying to control people. And when you like ask people who believe these things, their explanation, they're like, in order to the government to do anything, you'd imagine that like the reason they do it is to either gain more power or be more, because we're living in a capitalist society. So in order for like the only logical reason for people to do anything is either power or money. So this actually does negative to both those things. So like getting everyone to stay in the house causes a worldwide recession, and basically anyone that's in power more than likely won't be in power after this because of people being like not having enough jobs. Basically, the economy's gone to shit. This is all negative things. Generally, people who go into parties or go into government when they're that go into a recession generally lose their seats because of countries going into recession and them getting the blame. So this is not going to look good for like them. It's not going to look good for. It's not good for multinational companies who want to obviously them to get rich. Right now, they're getting poorer because all their workers have to stay at home. And then you have people blame the World Health Organization, which it's basically just an international government body sharing information about disease. That's all it really is. They don't have any real power.
Yeah,
So it's just a complete lack of understanding over anything. Like the World Health Organization has no real power. Like they can't force a country to do anything. All they're there for is to track diseases around the world and to warn countries of pandemics. Is this kind of thing. That's all they do. Is share information.
But you can't explain that to some people.
Oh no! And if you question them on it, it's kind of weird. You question them on it. It's like, so why would the government do that? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know why they do it. It doesn't make sense why they do it. And it's like, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not the government. Like,
where did you get your information from? A YouTube video?
Yeah, exactly. And there's like, oh, they keep taking the video down off Facebook. You're like, oh, well, there's probably a good reason for that. And they're like, oh, they're still trying to control us. And it's like, no, but like misinformation leads to death.
Yeah.
It's just and it's generally people who are like born before the internet. Like it's kind of people that their kids have to like tell them, do not send money to the Prince of Niger because he doesn't have his money. Is it like it's the kind of people that get caught by internet scams basically? That are
it kind of is.
It's like your parents have just discovered the internet, and you have to teach them everything you learned as a kid about the internet. You're like, no, you can't believe that.
Yeah.
The world is not flat. Stop listening to him.
Eddie Bravo.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. It's the Eddie Bravo generation. Anyway, we talked about our next story kind of last week. We touched on it, but you have an update for it. This is on Mike Tyson come back to boxing.
Yeah, he got offered a contract of like $1 million to fight in that bare knuckle thing.
Oh fuck! Really?
Yeah, they offered him $1 million to fight bare knuckle,
Man,
Like last week,
he could
we,
make so much more money fighting regular boxing.
but even like last week, we were saying who's mad enough to fight Mike Tyson? Who's mad enough to fight Mike Tyson with no gloves?
Yeah, like in terms of like his style of boxing, like bare knuckle boxing is set up for his style of boxing. Like being a boxer, like I mean that in terms of like jabbing, keeping people at distance, using intelligent striking. Bare knuckle boxing isn't designed for that because you can't use set up shots because your hands are going to break before you're going to knock someone out more than likely. So generally what it is staying in the pocket and training with someone, and the rounds are shorter and the ring is smaller. Everything's designed for inside fighting in bare knuckle boxing. So for a person, definitely the caliber of athletes are generally going into these bare knuckle boxing, which are like former MMA fighters, former boxers, and people they find off the street that are just dumb enough to do it as well. Like he's going to probably go 50-0.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like he's not going to get bet if he goes bare knuckle.
But the thing is, like, why? Like, he could definitely make more money regular boxing.
Yeah, oh, no, he hasn't accepted the offer, I don't think. But
all right. But like,
there's an offer.
I did see like a video saying he has announced that he's coming back to fighting though.
Yeah, like there's an offer for it. Like
yeah, but like I thought I seen a video there. I didn't click into it or a post it. It says Mike Tyson said he's coming out of retirement. So I thought that was the update they had for us, that he's actually coming out of retirement and has signed a contract.
No, bare knuckle like have offered him $1 million to fight. That was the update.
All right. Well, I've seen an article that might be even more of an update that said that he's coming out of retirement
to fight bare knuckle, maybe.
See, I imagine that like he would get more money in regular boxing.
Oh, he probably would, yeah, but he like I don't know, probably just wants to do it for the crack, maybe.
Really, I imagine that like
look
damage to your face, yeah.
Like Paul Malignaggi, like he would have made more money like in regular boxing.
Yeah, he would have.
But he's signed with bare knuckle, like.
Yeah, I think that's just because he wanted to fucking kick the shit out of Arthur. Conor McGregor's training partner more than
Artem.
Yeah, Arthur. Yeah, so like I don't know.
Yeah, like, but even Artem would probably make more money boxing. Like he was, he's probably a better boxer than he is an MMA fighter.
Yeah, I'm just found a clip online. I was trying to. There's a trick of reading the last paragraph, and that kind of sums up what they're talking about in the middle of it. So you don't actually have to read the whole article; just the last few paragraphs. A source said Mike has ruled out prospects of exhaustion bouts in Australia because of he doesn't not want to fight across over the Atlantic. So yeah, okay. Might have to read a bit up. The 15 years ago, he was receives numerous of big money, also including from rugby star Sonny B. Williams, Tyson Fury's dad.
Tyson Fury's dad.
But will only entertain more serious offers. Tyson Fury's dad probably is a serious offer.
That'd be hilarious.
We were just talking about like people who'd be mad, and Tyson Fury's dad. The guy who named his son after Tyson.
That would be fucking brilliant.
That Tyson is only willing to step into the ring with a bona fide opponent and does not want to disrespect the sport he loves. So, like, imagine if he doesn't want to disrespect the sport he loves, bare knuckle boxing probably might be off the table.
I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't. He also said he doesn't want to go into any but it sounds of it, he doesn't want to go into any really long bouts either. Like his cardio won't be there for 12 rounds.
Yeah, so bare knuckle is perfect.
Yeah, bare knuckle would be perfect under MMA coach Rafael Cordero after he announces shock plans to come back. Yeah, so he's training under a MMA trainer by the sounds of it. Maybe go into MMA.
Maybe
I'm sure Dana White would throw all the money in the world at him.
he could fight CM Punk.
You could fight Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, he could
Maybe
do
not.
that.
Maybe not.
It wouldn't last too long, I don't think.
No.
He could fight 50 Cent.
Yeah, and WWE legend Undertaker excited about the prospect of. Yeah, because that's also it's basically said that like a few people excited that he's come. I think he had the world excited when he announced his comeback. But yeah, that article that I seen didn't actually announce an opponent, but just said that he's had numerous offers.
Yeah, be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, like obviously bare knuckle boxing would be one. Imagine that even if you didn't want to do 12 rounds, that boxing promotion would reduce it to like a 6-round match.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I'm pretty sure whatever Mike Tyson wants, he'll get to come back because that whole thing is money. That like no matter what, like he'd easily make 60 million.
Like there's nobody that's going to turn down promoting a Mike Tyson fight.
Like he's offered 1 million in bare knuckle, but he'll be offered at least 60 million, possibly 100 million. Like McGregor and Mayweather, they were offered, they got like 100 million each.
Yeah.
So imagine what they do for Mike Tyson, arguably the biggest star in boxing.
Yeah.
Fighting Tyson Fury's dad. I'd watch the fucking hell out of that match.
That would be a brilliant fight.
Yeah, like they could have like a tag team boxing match, like Mike Tyson and Deontay Wilder versus the Furies.
The Furies.
That's just a brilliant. That's just a matchup made in heaven.
That's what you want, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know if you want to do like a serious matchup, then like retired boxers all you're gonna get.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I don't know who'd come out of retirement for
him. George Foreman.
Yeah, that English boxer.
Lennox Lewis.
Not Lennox Lewis. What's the other one who fought and lost to Vladimir Hayes?
Oh, David Hay.
David Hay, I'd say he might do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'd love to see David Hay get knocked out by Mike Tyson and then blame his foot again.
He always has an excuse.
Yeah, he's like, I twisted my ankle. My foot was out.
Broke my toe.
Yeah, exactly. Why did you take the fight, you dickhead? Right.
And he was fighting on Dave for a while. Remember that?
Oh, was he?
Yeah, when he made his comeback there a couple of years ago, and he came out of retirement for a little while, he was fighting on Dave.
Yeah, actually, I remember seeing a few box matches on Dave.
Yeah, they were David Hay fights.
That's a perfect match right there. Whoever came up with that idea, I tip my hat to you. That is amazing promotional skills right there. That is just like absolutely brilliant. Well done, sir or madam. Yeah, so that's Mike Tyson. So our update is we think he signed a fight. It could be a bare knuckle box, and we're not sure. There's multiple sources. I wouldn't say it's bare knuckle boxing. I'd be very surprised. Like he could easily get 100 million or at least 60 million to box normal boxing match. It's just really finding. I would like by the sounds of it, he doesn't have any shortage of offers for people who would fight him.
Oh, it's definitely you wouldn't have any shortage for offers.
But like it's obviously getting a good matchup for him and a good matchup like one that people will actually watch.
Yeah, like that's. I think people would watch a Mike Tyson fight anyway.
Noah would do really good numbers and is what's that Russian fighter's name?
Klitschko.
No, Fedor.
Oh yeah.
Imagine Fedor Emelianenko versus Mike Tyson. You have what a lot of people used to call the greatest ever heavyweight MMA fighter versus Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
You could have it like that. That do massive number. I don't know if Fedor is a big enough name in pop culture though, outside MMA though.
Yeah, but you get boxing fans be watching for Tyson, and you get MMA fans watching for Fedor.
Yeah, and it also has that kind of boxing versus MMA clash.
Yeah,
but like I doubt it'll happen though.
yeah, it'd be a good one though.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll move on. We'll move on to Robert Patterson, worlds apart from Mike Tyson. And actually, to kind of like segue in, Mike Tyson looks in phenomenal shape for a 50-something-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Robert Patterson thinks Mike Tyson's then part of the problem. So he's coming. He's
smooth.
Yes, smooth transition. So Robert Patterson is obviously going to be the next Batman, and he's been given a personal trainer as well as then a food plan by the personal trainer in order to get into shape for his role as the Cape Crusader. Except he's not too pushed on doing it. So he recently said he's not going to bulk up for the Batman character, saying that exercising every day you're part of the problem, and once you do something like this, then you force you set the precedent for people having to do it. And he said actors like James Dean didn't even weren't necessarily ripped back in the 70s, so he doesn't see why he should be ripped.
He kind of does have a point a little bit.
Well, James Dean never played Batman. Would be my counter argument to that. They played a cowboy.
Adam West did.
Yeah, but Adam West is by far the worst Batman ever made. Like we don't hold standards up to Adam West's Batman, surely.
Like Michael Keaton was never overly ripped.
Yeah, was he the one who had a 6-pack built into his suit though?
Michael Keaton was the first one.
Yeah.
Who else? Like none of them have been really overly ripped until
Christian Bale came along. Yeah, Christian Bale and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, well, even Affleck's not overly ripped.
Oh, he was in phenomenal shape though for Batman.
Yeah, but like he wasn't like shredded. Like he just looked like.
But like I think maybe what he's saying is, I don't know. This could be like the article trying to throw hot water on him, saying that he's not going to work out. So he's basically not going to have a 6-pack if he's going to be topless during the movie. He pointed out the fact that in Twilight he was asked to get into shape, and the scene that they wanted him to take his top off, they quickly asked him to put it back on, compared to his other counterpart, his rival in the movie, who was like completely shredded. So I think there's going to be like people are going to expect a Batman to look like he's in somewhat shape. Like all the Batmans did look like they're in shape. Either that was cosmetically done by the costume, like putting in like 6-packs built into the suit and nipples, which let's please hope that doesn't come back, or with likes of Ben Affleck and Christian Bale actually getting into phenomenal shape in order to play the roles. Like the counter argument is for women to look a certain way when they're playing a movie, but they're playing characters. But not only that, they're playing like comic book characters who generally are like below levels of, like, they're ridiculously thin, large tits, or for men they have muscles that human beings just don't have muscles there, or the muscles that they have are twice the size that like any human could possibly get. They're fictional characters, and they're drawn that way as fictional characters. So when people have to like portray them, they're never going to get near the muscles that you see in the comic books, but you do expect them to be in somewhat shape.
Yeah, but maybe
like if you had a fat Wonder Woman, I'm pretty sure that movie's going to die a very horrible death.
Maybe that's what like Robert Pattinson means.
Yeah, but like I think just I just think in terms of Warner Brothers, like there's a producer of Warner Bros. Going, oh my god, like these guys can't catch a break. Like Batman, their biggest character in the DC universe, and your man's like, I don't want to work out, and you're like, well, you're
Because I
Batman.
know, like a little while ago, like a few months ago, he said that he was having problems bulking up to the size and the weight that they want him to be.
But it sounds like he's a little princess that won't eat his fucking meals.
But like,
Oh, and
I don't know.
like I can understand. Because like in fairness, me and him would probably have a very very similar metabolism, where it's very fast, very hard for me to put on weight. However, if you follow like a meal plan that like your nutritionist give you, you might have to like wake up in the morning to have a protein shake, and then go back to bed. You might have to. You're gonna have to probably put in work in order to get that size. And like I know a lot of actors. I do agree with a lot of actors are under tremendous pressure to put on size. The fact that they like take steroids and to get super jacked, and I don't think that's necessarily not. I don't think that's okay. That actors are kind of almost expected to take steroids in order to get to, fulfill a role. But like, I definitely too like if you're going to play a character, play it right. Try to get into shape somewhat for it. Now he might still do workouts at home. Maybe he's kind of just hinting at the fact that he won't go to the levels that Christian Bale or what you call it, Ben Affleck or any of the other really really jacked, like your man who played Superman.
Henry, that guy.
Yeah, he Henry Cavill, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
got to like that might be an artificially enhanced, maybe not allegedly. Let's show all the ways we can't get like in trouble there might have come from. Maybe he was just pointing to that. He did say he was sticking to his food plan, trying to put on size. But like, if he's trying to put on size but not working out, that size that he's going to put on is just going to be fat, and he's just going to look very like. Unless he's just expecting the CGI people to the CGI bustles onto him. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to go. Like, Batman generally wears a top or wears a suit, or then he's in a suit like a. So he doesn't necessarily have to be topless for it. Like, it is slightly unnecessary. You don't need to see him topless for the movie. But I think if you're not willing to like put in the effort, there's countless of other actors who are either already that size anyway that could probably fulfill the role a lot better. And I just feel really bad for like Warner Brothers. There's like this is going to throw a huge spanner into work. It's just going to create like such shit about the movie already before it's even released, before the movie actually comes out. Now if it comes out and he smashes it out of the park, this is all going to be forgotten about. No one's going to care what he looked like as Batman. But if there's any problems at all with the movie, this is going to be exaggerated as one of the reasons why this movie was shit.
See, maybe though it could be a publicity stunt as well.
Well, it has us talking about it, so like if it was publicity, well done. It's clearly working.
Yeah, because like Robert Pattinson as Batman is a controversial subject anyway.
Yeah, now going into it, like there's kind of very mixed emotions about him playing Batman. A lot of younger people who obviously seen Twilight maybe were like, oh, I'll give him a chance, and then maybe people who are slightly too old for Twilight, who are superhero fans, were like, what the fuck are they doing with Twilight becoming Batman?
Yeah, like, so I don't know, but like I think he does have a little bit of a point where like when did it become necessary for like all male actors to be shredded all the time?
I think there's a beauty standards in acting anyway. That's been the case for years. Now, I don't necessarily think it's bad that people promote good health. However, I think some of the sizes that like male actors get to isn't necessarily healthy. But
it's not realistic either.
It's not really. It's extremely hard to get to that. And you generally, like I said, in order for them to get to that size, first of all, they dehydrate themselves. They don't generally look like that anyway. It's just them being dehydrated to a point where they might need medical like attention if they continue being that dehydrated in order to look like that. And it's just like a lot of steroids, a lot of exercises, a lot of dedication. But a lot of it's like artificially enhanced by dehydrating yourself to unhealthy level.
Yeah, so like I don't know. It's
Yeah, but like you imagine in the world of like fiction, you imagine that person who takes it upon himself to fight crime would would get himself into somewhat shape. So if they
oh
look,
yeah, yeah,
if
like
he looks like a person, if he looked like a professional athlete, let's say, like I don't think people would mind. Like if he looked like maybe a fighter that wouldn't a fighter or a person that would do boxing. Not necessarily all fighters are shredded or have extremely good. If you look at the UFC like last week, very few of them have like six packs. Like a lot of them, like you can see that they're in shape, that they've like defined abdomens, but they're not necessarily their six packs aren't showing necessarily
yeah,
because of that. So yeah, I can understand where he's coming from, and obviously there's counter arguments probably for girls, for sizes and like uh, below a certain kind of size. I think it's a size one. Like these girls are walking around, so like any girl that sees them who's maybe a size six, maybe feels fat when they're actually just probably a regular sized human being.
yeah. Like Robert Pattinson's probably like chances are he's fairly in shape anyway.
Yeah, I imagine like if you have if he has hard time putting on weight, he probably is a healthy weight.
Yeah,
So like I don't think him like being Bruce Wayne necessarily would be the worst thing in the world. I think if he's playing a young Batman, I don't think there's a whole lot of size needed because maybe like you could just say like, oh yeah, he bulks up later on in life. He realizes goes in fighting crime, realizes he might have to get a little bit bigger, but necessarily he doesn't have to be as big. But I imagine like he probably still wants to be in. You imagine that like obviously Warner Brothers wants to be in somewhat of a shape for it. Like doesn't want a fat Batman. Or
and then like they've already started filming and stuff. Like so, obviously, film. I don't know if it's fully filmed or if they're still doing it. Like if they're still doing it, it's obviously been put off because of the pandemic.
yeah.
So like, they should be more encouraging him to maintain his size that he is now for continuity rather than bulk.
Oh well, I don't think. Yeah, well, I don't think he's saying that he's sticking to his food plan that they gave him now, but they gave him an exercise regime. But I just think I think he was talking about to reporters whether if he had to go through any kind of size enhancements for this role, and he was saying that he wasn't going to book for the movie. So he's basically said he didn't put on any exercise for the movie. That's what he was saying. So I say yeah, whatever he was doing during film, he's probably going to have to try to keep that size up. If he did get any way bigger, or if he did like increase his weight at all, he probably has to maintain that and maintain a certain aesthetic that he had going in. But whatever, I wouldn't say he changed what this is already something that he made prior to it. This decision was made prior to the coronavirus, so and
Yeah.
prior to shooting started. So I'm sure, obviously, if Warren Brothers are continue shooting with him, they're okay with whatever size he is, or they're at least not gonna take the role away from him.
Oh yeah, like well, even if he comes back, like a big fat slob, they're kind of stuck with him at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of will have to get him into shape. Now, I don't even like the Batmobile. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I don't like the Batmobile. I don't like his cowl. I don't like
Yeah, there's a lot not to
whole
like
look and
about
stuff
this
like.
movie. So, like, if this was publicity, like this movie really needs some good publicity right now. It needs like something to get people excited. And saying that you're not going to bulk for this movie, it just kind of like for fans of it, is like I do not want to see a woke Batman.
Or maybe the whole point is to drop expectations.
Well, congratulations.
You know, so that then you go to see it and you're like, holy shit, like it was actually a really good movie.
Yeah, with a shit Batmobile and a really skinny Batman.
Yeah, but a good movie.
It seems
Again
like
though, like
stretch.
I suppose if it was like a young Batman, like you were saying, like you could excuse the skinny Batman, but you could probably also excuse the shit Batmobile and shit suit.
Yeah, like I did see a shot of the suit, and it doesn't look great.
It looks kind of like Daredevil's suit.
Yeah, I think someone put a side by side clip. You should get your man to play Daredevil and just ask him to borrow the Daredevil suit and spray paint it like black.
Wasn't that Ben Affleck?
No,
Didn't Ben Affleck play
the Netflix
Daredevil
series.
on the Netflix series?
Your man, yeah, because your man fucking did a really good job of fight choreography. I know it wasn't him doing the fight scenes, was his stunt double, but still, you take like stuff that you've seen in that Netflix series, introduce it into Batman. That'd be deadly, actually. Do that.
Yeah, Warner Brothers.
Watch Daredevil on Netflix, even though it's probably taken down.
I don't like Daredevil.
On Netflix?
Just in general, I think Daredevil's a bit of a fucking.
Have you watched the series on Netflix though?
No.
Watch the series on Netflix. If it's still there, stop what you're doing, and like whatever TV series is that you're watching, just pause them, watch the first 2 or 3 episodes of Daredevil. Have you watched Punisher?
No.
Oh man, you have to watch Punisher as well. Oh, they're so good.
I haven't watched Punisher. I haven't watched Titans yet either.
Yeah, like okay, they're good and all, but like Daredevil and Punisher is a must. Like they're like generally I would be pushing for DC stuff, but I know Daredevil and Punisher is a must over everything else.
Over everything else.
Like generally one of the best series that I've ever watched was the final series of Daredevil.
Yeah?
It was so good.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah,
maybe.
definitely. It'll change your opinion of Daredevil.
The
movie was god awful.
I was just never into Daredevil. I just thought he was a bit of a fucking bitch, like.
Well, this will change your opinion. Yeah. So and like generally, just while we were actually on it, your man who played Daredevil wasn't ripped at all, really, and he pulled it off pretty well. Like I don't necessarily remember seeing him like with a 6-pack per se. So if he was a similar size to Daredevil, or if he looked similarly to Daredevil, then I'd have no bones about that.
You'd be happy out.
Yeah, I'd be happy out if he looks similar size to Daredevil. And looking at the clips, he looks the suit makes him look more bulkier than Daredevil did. So like, I don't think there's necessarily a huge problem with him looking too skinny for the role, or what people might be thinking.
Yeah.
So it might work. We might come to eat our words.
Like, because it's Batman, I'm gonna go see it anyway.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like even if everyone's saying it's the worst movie that's ever been made, I'll still sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice.
You have actually a final story about Ikea in China.
Yeah. So Ikea in China had to release a statement asking their customers to not masturbate in store. Like, there was a girl. She went to. They don't name what town it was in or anything, but there's a girl in an IKEA in China, and they said that this must have happened before the pandemic because nobody in the video is wearing masks or anything.
Yeah.
It was posted up on a Chinese social media site, and she basically like goes and masturbates in every single department in the store. And just leaves like and puts it up online.
Well,
So
was like this taken off like security footage, or did she have a person like videoing her?
there was a person videoing her like, and she posted it up on like some Chinese social media site.
All right, so yeah, so obviously people aren't like walking around IKEA looking for a couch, and the urge hits them something fierce, and they're like, "Oh well, I better not going out here because like I won't be able to concentrate."
Well, you never know. Maybe it does.
Maybe like they definitely have a very different look on kind of sex and sex culture in China. I remember when I was in school, there was a kid had to be brought into the office and told to please stop masturbating in the computer room. The room wasn't necessarily empty when he was doing it. He has to bring his parents in, so like
That's brilliant.
everywhere.
Was that you, Mark?
What?
Was that you?
No. Like the lad that did it was Asian, so like they obviously they have like vending machines with sex toys in them that you can buy, like everything's quite open.
Yeah, like they're really like they were really insulted by this. Like they weren't impressed at all.
That people are telling them not to masturbate in their store.
No, that people were like doing it in their store.
As you would be, it's kind of like I know we just released a short video. Actually, we didn't shit. Or we were talking about it last week on our podcast. This is next week's smaller video. I was going to release that our kind of our 5 phases strategy, but you can listen to the full podcast. It's one of the first things we talk about on episode 140. But our listeners already know this, where we were talking about what do you call it, how we'd open up the country, and we say phase 4 was like shifting on the dance floor, and you said phase 5 being you can have sex on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And we're like, maybe not. It's more of a phase 5 thing. Clearly, someone from China was listening to that and going, yeah, phase 5, we're already there.
We're in phase 5.
Go into convenience stores to have the knock going off. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
by the time this actually is out, actually another kind of side note, Homer Simpson's actually 65 on Wednesday,
that,
which is today, the 13th.
Yeah, good
So,
man, Homer.
I wonder what that would make Grandpa Simpson then. He'd be into his hundreds then.
Oh, he'd be into his 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he would be only into his 80s.
But that makes you think, like, how old was Grandpa Simpson? Like, how old was Homer Simpson when the Simpsons... Like, how, what age is he supposed to be?
I think he was meant to be in his 40s. Or either very, very late 30s.
So, like, then how old is Grandpa Simpson supposed to be?
I imagine when this movie came out, or this show came out, if Homer is in his 40s, generally your parents are 20 years older than you.
Yeah, like,
Ish.
Grandpa Simpson's a lot older than in his fucking 60s.
Yeah. Well, he could have had him a lot later on in life, so he could have had a kid when he was in his 30s. So yeah, 30 years to 40. So Grandpa Simpson's probably maybe 70 when The Simpsons came out.
He still looks a lot older than 70, though.
Well, he's retired anyway, so he'd be at retirement age. So that's generally 60, 64, 65. I think he looks in his 70s, Grandpa Simpson, when Simpsons came out.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think he's older.
Yeah, no, I think he's in his 60s. He's still able to walk, talk.
Talking walk.
He's in a care home, so... But
he can still walk and talk.
Yeah, people who are in their late 80s would be like, well, my nana's nearly 90, so like she walks to the shop every day. Like I wouldn't say they're not mobile, but you imagine someone in a care home who's like in his 80s, maybe have problems walking. He might need a Zimmer frame, or yeah. So imagine he's in his 70s.
Maybe, could be. Well, I just think I always thought Grandpa Simpson was in his like fucking 90s, like from the very start. I was like, that lad's like, fuck, like he's near death.
No, there's definitely other people in the care home that look a lot older than him that they're in there. I think he didn't fight in World War II.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would have been probably 18 in World War II. He was a young man when he was fighting in the war.
He's a young man fighting in the war.
Yeah, so. So you can just basically count, like, let's say he was 18 when he was in the war. Just add up then from that.
So Simpsons first came on in the 80s.
Well, World War II, the Americans joined the war in around 1916, 1920 something wasn't it?
But he was like, no, it was the fucking Second World War didn't start till the 30s.
Oh yeah, it did. I'm thinking about the First World War.
Like, Grandpa Simpson was a sergeant in the Marines, wasn't he? So he was like, in all the flashbacks, he's like obviously in his 30s. Like, so he was in his 30s in World War II.
Yeah.
So he'd be in his 70s when the Simpsons started.
Yes, exactly. So am I.
It's just, I just always thought that he was a lot older.
Yeah. I would imagine that. Yeah, I would have said he was in his 70s when I watched it.
Yeah, I would have thought he was older. Anyway.
I guess that's our show. If you have any definition of what age Grandpa Simpson is, you can send it into us on shitetalk@gmail.com. shitetalkpodcastshow@gmail.com. One day I'll get that right. If not, we are on all podcast places, so make sure you check us out and give us a mighty good rating if you're there. We'll be back next Thursday with another show.
Yeah, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. None of us gets the coronavirus. Until then, I'll talk to you next week.
See you later.
Shut up and sit down.